pressing the YouTube stream. Now it should be on. Is it online? Is it not? Yes, there it is. Alright. So guys, be right back, and then we'll start with the Final Fantasy story. Hello everyone! We are starting soon! I still need a little drinky poop, and then we are good to go. Let's have a little drinky poop. Let's join the elusive Discord server that doesn't produce any noise currently, even though the streamer mode is not great. Alrighty. So, I think we're good to go, right? I think we're good to go. I need to scratch myself. Scratchy, scratchy, scratch! Nah, that was bad. That was bad. It wasn't even barely a clap. I clapped on the knuckle. It was bad. Much better claps on the second try. Welcome to Final Fantasy XIV, the final Hanantasy episode 7. Roegadyn names are terrible. Let's not mess around. Let's go into the game, which obviously has unloaded because I was AFK, because we always prepare the stream. Let's log into Shion Zanza, and maybe today is Shion Zanza's last day, because we may be able to get to level 18 story quest and to level 25 class quest, and that would mean we would retire Shion and we would switch over to Izalith on the right server. I have looked at Izalith and I wanted to do some pre-farming for some style gear and stuff in Gold Saucer. Turns out I haven't even done Gold Saucer with that character, so we can unlock everything there. And we can farm a little bit of MGP, so it might have a little bit of a style going on, at least in the beginning of the game, right? So, let's head on in and prepare ourselves for a lot of story blah 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 blah. So, we need to talk to Melwhip. Let's talk to Melwhip. Perks of logging out in a inn. Please, Final Fantasy XIV, please let us log out in our own homes, please, and let us please log in our own homes where we have a bed set up and we, you know, have like spend a lot of time there, and we would like to log in and out there, especially with dungeons and stuff. We basically want to have a Path of Exile 2 hideout and work as a hideout. That would be great. And where is the NPC? The NPC should have been here. There he is. Was I blind, or was he just not there? Was he just not there? Let's enter the command room, and there's Melwhip. Ah, Shion, it's good to see you on your feet again. Ah, you recovered. Then let us waste no time. I have a task that needs doing, one I would entrust to no other. The duty I have in mind for you requires some explanation. I do hope you have not made any other plans. To business then. The camera's kind of low, right? Can't even tell my hair. Let's zoom out a little bit, like so. I have penned a letter to each of my counterparts in the Eorzean Alliance. We're now going to Gritze and to Ulze. So, let's go. The Battle of Cortino and the calamity that followed claimed countless lives. It has been 5 years since those of us who were spared dragged ourselves from the ashes to look upon Eorzea we scarcely knew. 5 years, and yet people still suffer. Their lives are fraught with worry and hardships, and the warrior of light who might once have given them hope are gone. Yet we must press on regardless. We will never truly do so, however, till we have faced our past. To that end, I am proposing that a memorial service be held in each of the city-states on the 5th anniversary of the Cortino battle. These letters contains the details of said proposal, and I would have you deliver them to our allies as my personal envoy. If you have proven yourself a staunch and able ally to Limsa, but that is not my only reason for choosing you. No, I chose you because you possess a quality which puts me in mind of history's champions. A quality I feared lost. Say that you will perform this duty. Well, I don't have much of a choice now, do I? I knew you would not disappoint me. This task shall take you far from the borders of our nation to the city-states of Gridania and Ulda. The grueling journey, to be sure, where you would travel by sea and land. But I mean, you have to take the skies. An airship pass to be used at your discretion. Airships bound for the nations of our allies leave from the landing connected to the bridge. But before you depart, I suggest you trouble Badaron for a few pearls of wisdom regarding each of your destinations. Old bastards, if nothing but well traveled. 'Tis a pity I cannot issue such passes with a freer hand as I did in more peaceful times, where birth were not so limited. But in these times of war, every craft we commit to the clouds risks drawing the eye of the Empire, and every voyage must needs to be borne out of necessity. Lest you doubt, I consider your place well deserved. Nor am I alone in that opinion. There were other parties who would see you granted the privilege of air travel. Aishion, your deeds do not go unnoticed. Full many see great promise in you, but I have flattered you enough. On behalf of Limsa Lobimsa and her people, I bid you go forth, adventurer. Discover the realm for which so many have fought and died. Wonder and danger await you in equal measure, but turn not from either. Only by braving the unknown will you achieve the greatness of which you are surely capable. And I unfortunately skipped the second box. Ah! Oh well. Let's speak to Body. Let's speak to Badaron, and I have a frog in my throat. It's driving me pretty crazy. Can't breathe properly. Let me snoot my newt, and maybe I have a little bit of an easier time breathing. Oh, there we go. Let's speak to Body. Back from your meeting with the Admiral, are you? Man, Hrothgals look very pretty. Personal bleeding envoy? Well, you'll be carrying the word of the Admiral herself to the leaders of the Alliance. Bugger me. I knew you was going up in the world, but I didn't realize you got that bloody eye. Proud of you, lass. Thinking of how we've come so... What? I'm proud of you, lass. Thinking how far we have come. Why, 'tis enough to bring a tear to me eye. And that ain't the ale talking either. Well, just not the ale, at any rate. Bless the navigator for steering ye me way. Of course, this is only the start. Now we've got your hands on the airship pass. The all of Eorzea is laid out for you, like a fair maid on a feather's bed. And she's a big girl too. Plenty with enticing nooks and crannies. Sure. If ye think us Lominzans are characters, just wait till you cross paths with the grim forest dwellers of Gridania, or trade coins with the crafty merchants of Ulda. And then there's the wild places where beasties rule, and no bugger with an ounce of sense sets foot. But you're an adventurer, so I wouldn't let little things like that hold you back. Of course, it ain't all exploring and excitement. There's a heap of troubles with plagues every nation, see? And... what? Tain't just ours. I'm talking intrigue and fighting beastmen and their goddamn primals. Aye, There's an ugly side to life, and sooner or later you're bound to walk into it. I'll wager there's a bugger all out there you can't handle. Someone tells me you're going to be just fine. The realm's at it rough, this is true. But folks beginning to recover from beating the calamity dealt them. Call me an hopeless optimist, but it wouldn't take much to turn things around. This is the perfect time for an adventurer like yourself to get out there and make a difference. Well, what are you waiting for? Terrible. Terrible. Can't even read that. Alrighty, airship pass. Airship landing would be directly here. Also like Calais. Airship landing, there we go. Greetings, madam. The counter is for passengers traveling to Gridania. Wait, you aren't that famous adventurer. It's Shionzanza, isn't it? I thought I recognized you. You're an inspiration to all of us, madam. High wind skyways at your disposal. Will you be traveling with us today? Well, I don't have much of a choice now, do I? The Gunga Plunga. So we're playing League of Legends now. Ba-ding, ba-ding, ba-ding. I really like the airship designs in this game. Attention all passengers! The airship's bound for Gridania is about to depart. Please make your way to the boarding gate. Okay. You can't see me. Is that what just happened? Was that John Cena? I kind of feel like air travel by mount kind of ruined the game. I really think airships should make a return in the game. I think flying with your own mount just kind of destroys the overworld for a little bit. I get it, like the fate hunting and all of that. Good fortune to you, Shion. So the day will come when your name means the same as Yarrow to the folks of this realm. Maybe you walk into the light of the crystal. Does he know something? Yeah, I think personal air travel by Chocobo, or by mount rather, kind of ruined the game. Sure, it's made for fating and gathering materials and gatherers and stuff, but I think it is negative to the experience of Final Fantasy, to the lore and to the feel of all of this. This is a pre-rendered cutscenes because we have black bars. And it is 30 FPS only, which is awful, but PlayStation 3. That dragon must be Midgar. Yes. Midgard Sommer. Big dragon. Important dragon actually. Was a hard overlay. A hard transition of scenes. Sure, I guess.
偽りの神が長領跋扈する証拠の地。二度にわたり帝国の攻勢を跳ねのけし、今は敷地。かくしてエオルゼア信仰は停滞し、奴のような俗物の台頭を許すこととなった。そしてメテオ計画ですら第七霊祭なる最悪を引き起こしただけに終わり、不条、不定、不足。この世界はあまりに狂っている。救わねばならん。我々が愚かな民を未来へと導く。正しき支配と導きこそがこの地に平定をもたらすのだ。ガイウス閣下の御心のままに。
They said Gaius, so they didn't say Lord Van Belzer, they said Gaius. Gaius is his name. That is interesting that they showed this already. That is super interesting that they showed this already. It will be a while until we see that thing, but it is super interesting that they show this now. Not telling you what it is, but we'll meet it again. Otherwise they wouldn't have showed it.
なあ、ガイウス軍団長はなんでエオルゼアに？
先日の閲兵式でも言っていただろう。大きな作戦があるんだってよ。
でもよ、カルテノーの戦いから5年、本国は俺たちを放置してきたんだぜ。今さら何をやろうっていうのさ。
ガイウス閣下のご意向に疑問でもあるのか？
It's budget Dante. No, it's more budget Virgil. Yep, Nero. He kind of looks like a budget Virgil, I have to say, like a Ghanaian Virgil. Sword and all of that.
自分はアラミ語であります。
コードネームはハミングウェイ。
I very much like that the people in charge of the Ghanaians are not some anime antagonist, very young, handsome, super strong enemy. No, they're like seasoned adults, most likely have seen war. They have scruffy faces. I really like the design choice of our antagonists.
やっぱりな。ケース58。パラメキア諜報機関からの報告の通りだぜ。
Incompatible with life.
草だ。片付けとけ。血もきれいにしとくんだぜ。
Helmet's pretty cool though.
俺の魔導技術が上だってこと思い知らせてやんよ。ガロンド。
Whoever he's talking about, Garland. We don't know yet. I know, but we don't know yet. And that's Gridania's music. In Gritze we shall be a while. And as I've mentioned in a couple of episodes before, but yesterday's stream, I think, You can choose my grand company that I can choose at level 20. You guys can choose the grand company down in the comment section below and tell me why your grand company is better than the others. Come on, let me do. I want to play the video game. Let me move. Let me move. There we go. That was anticlimactic. Alrighty. Speak with the servant honor guard. I can do that. You must be the envoy of Limsa. Welcome to Gridania, madam. The Elder Seer, the Elder Seed Seer awaits your arrival. Alrighty. Kan a Senna. Greetings, good madam. Are you the Liminsan envoy, are you not? I have received instructions to assist you. Pray make your way to the city proper and identify yourself to the conjurer at Nofika's altar. He will admit you to the Lotus Stand where the Elder Seed Seer awaits. Alrighty, we have now full access to Gridania. So, what we do in Gritze, we will first grab all of the Aetherites so we can teleport around more easily, and then we shall do the quest, obviously. And we are soon at level 20 with our character, and that means, oh, that's a nice samurai armor. That looks very good. That is a very nice looking samurai armor. We will unlock everything, do our main quest, and once we hit level 20, we need to do our next warrior quest. And then we're almost there to switch our character around. Quest-wise, we're still at level 15. We need to reach level 18. What have I done? I don't know what you mean, but what have I done? Am I too late with that chat box? Probably am. What do you mean by what have I done? What have I done, huh? Am I walking correct now? Alrighty. Let's grab all of the Aetherites. We shall go... It's probably smartest to grab the Lancer Guild and teleport back to the Leather Workers instead of going all the way around it. I mean, it would probably not much of a difference. Oh. I hope you guys are enjoying the series. Obviously, we're gonna keep this going until Dawn Trail at the current point. But I think because Final Fantasy is such a huge game, and I don't know how many hours we need. That's actually something I could Google real quickly. How much time we actually need, because we're trying to do an hour, right? We're trying to do an hour per episode. So how many hours does this game need from A Realm Reborn to Dawn Trail? Let's see what Google has to say. Let's see what Google has to say about that, and it's lovely AI. Completing the main scenario quest from A Realm Reborn through Dawn Trail takes approximately 200 to 310 hours. This includes the base games and 5 expansions, which is roughly 40 to 50 hours. Skipping cutscenes and rushing can significantly reduce this time. Yeah, but that's not what we're going to do. So, about 300 episodes, and we're doing 3 episodes per stream, which means we are roughly talking about 100 streams. We're streaming 20 days a month. So we need about 5 months for the story to end. Roughly speaking. So 5 months. We are already at the 3rd day of the story. So let's say 5 months. But let's be generous because there will be some downtime. There will be off streams and stuff. There will be some breaks. So I reckon we need about 6.5 to 7 months of Final Fantasy XIV. Because we might play something different. There will be some games coming out. There will be updates to some games like Path of Exile 2 in about 2 weeks, which will receive an update. So I think 7 months is actually generous. Very generous. And I think it's gonna be much longer than this. We have currently April. We're currently April, so month 4. If we go 8 months. If we go 8 months, we will be at December. We will be at December. And I think that the add-on will release. Yikes, when will the add-on release? We have no clue currently. The Japanese Fan Fest is in about a week. So the Japanese, no, not the Japanese, the American Fan Fest is in about a week, where we might get the first information about the newest add-on. Finishing it before December, I think will be very, very, very tough if we are on our current streaming schedule. You are the Laminzen envoy. Begging your pardon, madam, but I might inspect the missive you bear. Verily, this is the seal of the Admiral of Limsa Lobimsa. Please come with me. Because, right, we also kind of want to have fun sometimes in the game, so it's gonna take a long time. And there she is, Kane Senna.
あなたがリムサロミンサからの使者ですね。話は聞いています。冒険者メルビブ提督によほど信頼されているのですね。こちらへどうぞ。
He's kind of small, I have to say. 160?
森の都グリダニアへ。
Maybe less even.
この国のグランドカンパニー。 ソージャ島の最高司令官当主のカヌエ・センナです。メルウィブ提督からのご用件を伺いましょう。
A remembrance service to the fallen of Cartano. To think that 5 years have already come and gone. It seems like only yesterday that the Garlean Empire attempted to seize all that we hold dear. Rising in resistance, the city-states of Eorzea formed the Grand Companies and joined hands in alliance. But unbeknownst to us, the Garleans sought not to best us in battle, but moved instead to enact a terrible plot, the Meteor Project, by which the lesser moon, Dalamut, would be torn down from the heavens to annihilate all life below. But wouldn't that annihilate Garleans too? Doesn't make much sense. In a desperate bid to save the realm from certain destruction, our forces marched for Cartano Fields, and there met the 7th Imperial Legion. More bloody a battle I have never seen, and I would never wish to see it again. Yet the carnage was but a prelude to the atrocity which followed. For despite our best efforts, Dalamut continued its descent, and from it emerged the elder primal Bahamut, who proceeded to rain fire upon Eorzea. The 7th Imperial Legion was consumed in the blink of an eye, while our own forces fared a little better. That any among us were spared defies explanation, and it seemed sure, all seemed sure to perish. As the flames converged upon us, I was prepared myself for death, only for a brilliant light to envelop me, relieving me of my senses. When I last awoke, Bahamut was gone, and the land, which had but moments before been aflame, now seemed to me a place unknown, not simply ruined, but changed. Archon Lussois may well have been able to shed light upon these mysteries, but he, like so many, never returned from Cartano. Can't say anything about that. Can't say anything about that. And so we were left with countless questions, no prospect of an answer. Yet such matters did not long occupy our thoughts, for we had far graver concerns. The calamity, as the devastation wrought by Bahamut has come to be known, laid our nations nigh to waste. And to this day we struggle to rebuild our lives and homes. To compound matters, the beast tribes continue to summon their primals, while the Empire encroaches upon our borders, consolidating its foothold in Eorzea. The outlook, in short, is bleak. In the wake of the calamity, it has all been each nation could do to nurse its own wounds. Yet, if we are to weather the incoming storm, we must needs stand united once more. A remembrance service may well present the opportunity to rekindle the spirit of unity which first gave rise to the alliance. I wholeheartedly approve of the Admiral's proposal. The necessary provisions shall be made for a service here in Gridania.
I have had toast this morning. Kiss my hand.
I will take your leather into my hands and put it into my pocket.
You have done the people of Eorzea a fine service this day, and I would not put you to further trouble. I shall see that my reply reaches the Admiral anon. You, meanwhile, are bound next for Ul'dah, are you not? Please send the Flame General my regards, and if you would be so kind, I should appreciate it if you would inform him that a pet of mine has been ill-behaved of late, my wolf to be precise. Needless to say, he must be brought to heel, and I would very much welcome the General's counsel on how that might be achieved. I thank you for coming. May the 12 see you safe to Ul'dah and beyond. Alrighty. Which means we go back to the ship air. We go back to the ship air and go, 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 go. Funnily enough, no musicians in Gritze today. Well, that's not the server that I'm usually on, right? In Shiva, we always have musicians in Gritze. Like, always, always. So. Down, down, down the stairs we go. Guys, if you like this voice acting, if you do not like this voice acting, make yourself known down below. So, let me quickly read the text box and greetings, madam. This is a counter for the passengers traveling to Ul'dah. Oh, you are you not Shion Sansa, the Lominsan envoy? On behalf of all the High Wind Skyways, may I say it is an honor to serve you. Will you be flying with us today? Okay. No. Woo. Big yawn. Big yawn. Gangu Blanco. Yes. You guys see me probably not use the mouse when it comes to talking to NPCs or initiating interfaces and such. There's actually a nice trick for that. If you look on your keypad, on your numpad, the number 0 is on default a enabling of interface and interface interaction. So if you just press or spam the number 0 on your number pad, you can initiate any NPC interaction and any interface interaction. And if you put that on your mouse right here, you can do that as well. But I like using the keyboard because if we turn around, for example, and we press the 0, the mouse should disappear if you talk to an NPC. The mouse should disappear like so. However, if you move the mouse, if I now click the mouse, you can see the mouse disappears. But the moment I move the mouse, it is back on the menu. So, if I basically just press the mouse, it doesn't really work. But if I press the keyboard, it works perfectly fine. So I recommend using the keyboard. Makes using the interface very, 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 very fast. Ah, you must be the envoy of Limsa Lominsa. Welcome to Ul'dah, madam. The Flame General awaits your arrival. Alrighty. I think the keyboard for interactions is like very, very, very good. Welcome to Ul'dah, madam. We have been expecting you. Flame General Roegadyn will receive you in the Fragrant Chamber. Please take the lift down to the hosting strip and speak with Bartholomew at the Royal Promenade. But since we're in Ul'dah, we are definitely taking a short little walk towards the Ruby Road Exchange, and we're basically doing all the Aetherites. We're gonna unlock all of the Aetherites because we might have to walk a little bit. So let's unlock all of the Aetherites. Technically, since we're not using that character that much, let's just get the primary Aetherite, really. Let's just get the primary Aetherite, because this character will be retired in 1 or 2 streams. So there's not much point in grabbing all of them. Oh. Fancy gear you have. You could be a certain NPC from the future. Alrighty. Let's go to the Hustings Strip. And this is the Marauders Guild. We cannot enter there. So we can go probably from the Hustings Strip here. But we just could simply walk over the steps of Tal. There's eye candy here. That's the reason why I'm walking there. So forgive me. But look at the eye candy. And we move on. Well, if I call out someone else, I'm gonna call myself out as well. So, up we go. And off to Roegadyn. Used to be a boss fight in a specific add-on where we tried to initiate a cutscene with Roegadyn, but the server was so heavily overloaded that we couldn't enter the cutscene. So basically, you got the pop-up to join the fight, and then the screen went black and nothing happened. And we called him Roegadyn Extreme, the most difficult fight in game. The servers have gotten much better since then. Much, much, much better. But that was a funny situation because people were actually like lining up in the queue and like waiting for their turn to initiate the cutscene to combat the absolute insanity of Roegadyn Extreme. The cutscene initiation was quite funny because every single time you have a solo instance going on, it is actually an instance, and only the server can only handle so many instances at once, right? So to combat the absolute massive amounts of instant spam, people formed a queue. It was very, very funny. Well, Lim's an envoy, I presume. Would you be so good as to allow me to inspect the missive you bear, madam? My thanks. Oh yes, the Admiral's seal. Please proceed. But I didn't drink any.
実力のあるものであれば出自にとらわれずに使う。メルウィブも実利というものが分かっておるな。我が輩が砂の都オルダ派のグランドカンパニー不滅隊の最高司令官ラウバーン・アルディンだ。さて要件を聞かせてもらおうか。
And after this cutscene, we're probably calling this episode already done. Cartano. I remember bloody Cartano. Do you know what happened that day, adventurer, when we took the field against the Garleans? So my counterparts have educated you. No, I got the power of flashbacks. Hannah's pet is giving her trouble, is it? Well, she should already know my mind on that subject. Wolves are beyond taming. This is but a matter of time before they bare their teeth. So it was with the Garleans 50 years ago. No sooner had they learned how to use Magitech than they began seizing territory from neighbors. Led by then Legados Solos Zos Galvus, they swiftly brought the other nations of Ilzabrad to heel. So it's the Legados became emperor and his republic an empire. Remember that name, Solus Zos Galvus? Because very late in the story, this name might become very relevant again. Might be really, really, really relevant. So yeah, just remember the name Solus. An empire which then sets its sight upon Eorzea. But the conquering emperor is now an old man of 80 winters. His health is failing, and he has no clear successor. Like as not, this is why the Garleans have been quiet of late. But the 14th Imperial Legion is still entrenched within our borders. And their commander, Legados Gaius von Belzar, has long harbored ambitions of conquest. Were he to strike now, I fear we would fall like so many others before us. And not only Ulda, but Gridania and Limsa Lobimsa as well. For the calamity brought the lot of us to our knees, and we have yet to get up. We barely have the strength to stand against the beast tribes, never mind the primals they mean to summon. We are a realm divided, adventurer, an alliance in name only. Little bit of a doom caller, but sure. But the wolf cares not for the plight of its prey. The Garleans stir, and the elder seed seer would not let it go unnoticed. All other concerns pale in comparison to the empire, even the beast tribes and their bloody primals. We must stand united once more, that much is clear. And if we were to do so, we must remember the cause which last brought us together. Merlwhip will have her memorial. We will honor the memories of the fallen. We will remind the people what their brothers and sisters fought and died for. I had donuts this morning.
I take it from your hand and I put it in my pocket.
Shall I inform the Sultana and the Syndicate? I will speak with her grace myself. Very good, sir. The Admiral will have my reply anon. My thanks to you, adventurer. Alrighty. You can now use the airship routes. Very cool. Airships are now accessible. Storyteller achievement. Ah, my lady envoy, I trust you stay in the Sultanate has been pleasant. Now, if you do not mind me asking, do you perchance have plans to visit Limsa Lobimsa in the near future? If so, I have information that might be of interest to you. I once accompanied the Flame General to an official visit to the seaside city-state, and during which time I became acquainted with the Bardaron. What a surprise! The proprietor of the Drowning Wench. Well, the man sent word just now that he has a job for a capable adventurer. I can think of none better than the credential than yours. Bardaron would doubtless be pleased if you were to offer him your services. Bardaron. He kinda knows everybody, I feel like. But we know that we are at the end of today's episode. And thank you very much for watching. This has been episode 7 of the Final Fantasy story. And since we now know we have an hour per episode, and Google says it's about 310 episodes, let's just imagine that we will probably have 350 to 400 episodes of Final Fantasy XIV. Is that insane? Yes. Should the story be shorter? No. I think the length of the story is perfectly fine, because this is first and foremost a story-focused game, and I think that is great. And if you skip the story, that's on you. But I do not think we should get a reduction in story. I think the story is perfectly fine as it is. And if that means that it needs half a year for you to join your friends, that's what it means. That's what it should be, because I think the story is great in this game. Except Dawn Trail. And yeah, guys, if you enjoy this series, tag along, it's gonna be a good ride. Twitch.tv/Hanantasy, LivePlay HDTV on YouTube, and take care for the next episode. Goodbye. And I'll be right back. So... Righty. So, episode 8. Oh. Father on his work for us, episode 8. So, let's get going. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, episode 8. Barteron has work for us for Final Hanantasy XIV. Well, 350 episodes to go, right, guys? So let's get going, and let's get going to Barteron. We are lazy, we are teleporting, we have the teleporting tickets. Might as well use them and get going. Alrighty. So, let me quickly chuck this here. And let's head over to Barteron. That means we go to the After Castle. I know it's Aft Castle, but After Castle sounds funnier. So let's get on over there. We haven't upgraded much of our gear recently, so that's still on the table, I guess. Welcome to the Drowning Wench. Sit wherever you like, lass. I'll be with you in a... Well. If it ain't the one and only Shion Zanza. I was told a distinguished venturer might be reporting for duty. Fancy that venturer being you, eh? Yeah, just like the writing was supposed to do that, right? Just so you're fairly warned, though. This ain't a job for your faint of heart. Things liable to get downright bleeding hairy. It should be hairy. But if you think you're still interested, let me know, and I'll fill you in on the details. There's a chest. Let's see. These have bear the same level. We have a few bronze pieces to take. It's probably pirates. So that looks to be Sastasha, finally. I thank ye for taking the time to help me out. Now I'm sure you're busy, so I'll come straight to the point. Word has it, some suspicious looking buggers have been sneaking in and out of the Sastasha secret, and I need a trustworthy sort of head up to north of Aleport and find out who they are and what they're up to. Don't sound like much, I know. But since that nasty business is over at Swiftperch, folks have been a bit uneasy. But I say a bit, all they can do is not to soil themselves every time the bloody floorboards creak. If you would permit me, Master Barteron, I should be happy to elaborate. It's the pretty boy. Well, if it ain't Chief Yellow Jacket himself. To what do I owe this rare honor, Commodore Reiner? Come to make sure that me patrons are behaving, or just thirsty? Neither. In fact, I came down to welcome Shion back from Limsa Lamimsa. It is well that you have returned. Over the course of the past moon, there have been several sightings of an unfamiliar vessel off the coast of Aleport in the vicinity of Isle of Umbra. This informant came to my attention no more than a few weeks after a squad of my own soldiers had completely a routine patrol of the region, the Sastasha Seagrove included. Their search revealed little, save that a family of Kurls had taken up their residence in the caves. Nothing to concern us, in short. In light of recent developments, however, it would seem wise to search Sastasha again. But with the Sahagin testing our defenses daily, I am loath to assign the task to the limited forces at my disposal. Our line is stretched as it is. Thus, I sought the services of a competent adventurer to conduct an investigation in our stead. Any aid you can offer in this matter would be greatly appreciated. Then it is settled. Sastasha is located in the western Lanosea. For more detailed instructions on how to reach the place, I suggest you consult Vimpella. She can be found at the ferry docks in the lower decks. You're the man. Good luck to you, lass. So, hello there, Fox.
Hello there.
Oh, it fixed itself. Weird how a reboot sometimes works, right? Kinda weird. Best thing to do if you have a PC issue, just reboot the damn machine. And it should probably work. So we're that close to our quest, however. Since we are near Sastasha, we kindly have a little bit of a low gear currently. I suggest we probably take our coin for the streets and we buy some gear. So how you doing, Fox?
Well, I find it funny that I was sitting there watching you, and after about 4 minutes, you sent me a message asking me if I'd fixed the issue.
No, you were just silent, and I tried. Look, guys, when
you were talking, you were saying the story. I can't interrupt.
Guys, I took a small little break between the episode, and then I got the message, I have sound issues. And I'm trying to fix the sound issues while you guys not seeing that we have issues, and I'm trying to fix those as silently as possible. And I can't just say, did you fix the sound issues if you couldn't hear me?
Yeah, but I rebooted the system, so I was waiting.
Yes,
I
but
didn't want to interrupt you.
You could have sent a message that it is working now. Now she sent a message that it is working now. What a cunt. I'm trying to fix these problems as silently as possible while still putting on a show. God damn it.
I didn't look for the one time that I didn't want to interrupt you and you complain.
I'm trying to do good here, okay?
Yes.
Let's get this helmet right there. That's a nice tanky helmet. We do have a chest. We don't need a chest. Hands would be a nice upgrade. Hands would be a nice upgrade. A Pantsu. We have Pantsu right here. Is there a tanky Pantsu available? That looks quite good. It's not really a tank Pantsu, but it is fine, I guess. And we have the goatskin leggings over here with vitality on them. 2 vitality, in fact, so that's a good upgrade here. Let's check this out. Now that looks a little bit like armor. If we could manage to grab a little bit of experience, we could potentially grab a level 20 weapon. Because Sastasha is sunk to 17, I think? 17, and that would mean we might be able to have a little bit more power on ourselves. However, can't find the weapon craft. So let's head over here. The weapon trader should be here. Battlecraft supplier, that looks pretty good. Of arms, level 20, 20 axe, Inferno axe. That's a nice little axe. And now we are pretty low on gil, but don't matter because we're switching characters relatively soon. Alrighty, go down here. Go down here, speak to Vampella. You hear about the Commodore's Reiner's investigation, then you will want to board a ferry bound for Airport. Once you arrive in Western Lanosea, though you'd best pay a visit to the Hall of Novices before you blunder into Sastasha. This is what we call a soft tutorial. The game is telling you to do things towards a tutorial. A hard tutorial would lock you out before going into Sastasha, and a soft tutorial gives you the option to go there. And a soft tutorial is also giving you a hint that some tutorial might be available. The Adventurers Guild runs the hall, and here the folks will prepare you, train you with the skills you need to face the dangers of undoubtedly waiting for you in the Sea Grot. The hall is on the way to Sastasha, it's just north of Airport. Get inside and one of their seasoned adventurers will take you by hand. Best of luck to you, friend. Alrighty, so let's quickly go there, but that is an NPC and I want to talk to the Lalafell that I can't click. Like so. Now, they are not forcing us to the Hall of Novice, but they are leading us right towards it. It would be a hard tutorial if they would force us to do the Novice Hall. And if you are a beginner of Final Fantasy, I highly recommend the Novice Hall. It is quite outdated. But Fox, you being a beginner in Final Fantasy, how would you say is the Novice Hall as a tutorial?
It's very, very easy to understand.
Good.
It's this place here that's horrible. How are you supposed to get onto this side without jumping?
And jump.
Well, that's what I've done every single time. But surely there's an
yes,
entrance or exit.
We call that a door or a gate.
But there isn't a door.
There is. Just go down there and then walk forward and then look around. There is a bloody street and there's a gate. I mean, the gate is that big. The gate is like this big, right?
Yeah, that's the one that got away, right? Why can't I find it from the inside?
Because you're blind. That's what you are. Your orientation skills in video games. I have words I cannot say on this stream, otherwise I would be banned.
GeoGuessr counts as a video game.
I don't know. You're not really interacting with the world, you're just moving a camera. Or I wouldn't really call it a video game. It is a browser game. That I would agree, it is a browser game. It is not a video game.
But I'm good at it.
I'm not denying that you're great at GeoGuessr, but it is a browser game. It's not a video game. Ah, you must be the adventurer of whom the Yellow Jacket has sent words. I heard you here to brave the depths of Sastasha Sigurd. The occupants of those caves are rumored to be as numerous as they are bloodthirsty. No matter what the epic tales would have you believe, strolling into such a den of savagery alone would be the height of foolishness. No, you shall need companions, and you shall need the training we here at the Hall of Novice can provide. I strongly suggest you study the fundamentals of group combat before continuing your mission. The smith here oversees the training schedules. Speak with him and you can register for an exercise tailored to your particular expertise. When you have mastered all that our masters have to teach, then it will be time to head north once more. Report to the Yellow Jacket scout at the mouth of Sastasha Sigurd, and he will furnish you with the details of your duty. All of the membership novice granted. Alright. So yes, we definitely am prepared to do those, and we are actually really not doing it because Fox died. You took on Steropus, which is a very difficult fate boss.
I didn't know. I just sort of came across him and it told me to sync my levels, so I thought he wouldn't be that hard.
No, he is. Now you know. Steropus, Steropus, I believe, actually drops a minion when you beat him. He's a very hard boss fight. Let's do what warriors do best. We unga, and then we bunga. Please tell me you're here on the Yellow Jacket duty and not some daft sawed out of for a stroll. You could have said that. I can't take any more of the blasted waiting. Oh, you are? Thank the gods. I assume you already know about the ship seen slipping around these Isles of Umbra. We've been on the lookout for a pirate activity ever since that vessel was sighted. Thinking of a crew of cutthroats might have been the den nearby. So when we received the word of men of questionable quality had been seen passing in and out of Sastasha here, we weren't entirely surprised, and I have yet to see them for myself. But if this lot belongs to those fishback fancy serpent reavers, well, you can imagine the panic it will cause. The kidnappings are still fresh in people's minds. Anyway, your task is to poke around the caves and find out who exactly we're dealing with. While you do that, I'll be keeping a watch out here, praying that you don't spot any blue-faced tattoos. And now I think the duty finder is really well done in Final Fantasy. It could use some improvements, but I think overall the duty finder is really good. So, and this is new. This didn't exist in the past, but this is pretty new. You can enter now pretty much every dungeon, I believe. You can enter pretty much every dungeon with a set of NPCs in case you don't want a party, or, and I really would say try it, don't want to play with other people because you maybe are scared, for example. If you have a disability in Sword, this system is great because you can take your own time. A dungeon will roughly take 30 minutes roughly if you do it with NPCs. However, if you can and if you are trusting yourself, play with other people, because it is always really fun to play with other people in this game. It's nice, easy, and most of the people that you meet are actually really kind. And if you are really scared about going into a dungeon, because this might be your first MMO, what kind of tip have I given you, Fox?
Just go in and do it. And that the fact that people are really nice in Final Fantasy.
That's not what I wanted to fish out. What I wanted to fish out is that you tell them that you're new at this, or this is your first time, so that they know and that they take care of you.
Ideally, as a very wise man with half a beard once told me, if you make a macro with a message, you just press the message and it automatically comes up, "Hi, I'm new. Please don't shout at me," which is what I did. So basically, I always let them know I'm new, and they're really nice. It's like, "Don't worry, we've got your back."
That literally someone said that yesterday.
Literally, someone said that on my first dungeon on my own. Yes, they said, "Don't worry, we've got you."
Yes, the community in Final Fantasy is really good. Almost a little bit too nice at times. You will find the rougher spots when it comes to the high-end raiding, but I think that's totally fine, because in the high-end raiding, everybody is like putting their time in and they're trying their hardest to beat these fights, and some emotions might are a little hotter in the high-end raiding, and I think that is actually completely fine. Like, I am one of those people who say, if you insult someone in the high end, that's fine. That's fine. It happens. Emotions happen. And then you might say something. The most important thing is that you apologize for whatever insult you have said. And then you just move on professionally instead of festering those negative emotions. Because everybody can have a hard fight and a hard time. But insults happen.
Is this your first dungeon with her?
This is the first dungeon with Shion, which will, in 2 levels of MSQ, will be retired.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously I'm a tank. I am level 15 in Sastasha, 17. No, I am almost 20. And I will do the Unga Bunga. So that's gonna be fun. Let's get going. Let's get going. Now we have a sage, which means this guy definitely has played some. Now we will grab this pack right here. And now in the beginning, it is really easy to screw up. However, if you keep running a circle, the enemies are just for a microsecond not in your range and they have to walk towards you. And if you just keep running in a circle, you receive less damage than actually standing around. So in the low levels, especially sub level 25, when you do not have many tools, just keep running in a circle until most of the enemies are dead and you receive way less damage that way. Like way less damage. So that is a very good tip. I have been tanking a lot. I have been tanking all my MMO life. I have probably over... How many years of tanking do I have? My god. I probably have well over 20 years of tanking. It might actually be 25 years of tanking at this point. I'm a very seasoned MMO player. So the moment an enemy is not hitting you is a good moment. So therefore you just speed through everything. You run in a circle, and that little circle run basically keeps them off your back. Ever so slightly for a microsecond. Now, unfortunately, I am lacking a lot of my defensive layers at this low level. Even my shared class actions I am lacking, but it should be totally fine. I usually keep I keep running until I have like 4 or 3 enemies left, and then I just finish the enemies. But yes, in Final Fantasy, very good tactic in the lower levels if you are lacking your defensive tools, to just keep running basically. And blue was the right one. Now I do have the interrupt and I do have my stun. So I will stun the first curl attack, like this one. And I'll try to interrupt the second. If it is interruptible, it is not. And there we go. Now we have our first kill. And we are a level 20. Let's grab our new axe. Oh, we cannot change gear in the middle of the dungeon. Oh well. Let's pull those guys to the bots room. What kind of loot do we have? Hey, we have a helmet. We have a helmet. And what else do we? And we have a melee fighter earring. Alright. Let's stun this guy. The more cooldowns you use as a tank, obviously, the less damage you receive. And the more damage your healer can do. Because in Final Fantasy, it is expected of healers at a certain point in the game to do damage. So in many other games, like World of Warcraft for example, if you play a healer, you rarely deal damage. In Final Fantasy XIV, it is pretty much expected for you to deal damage. A damage dealer is about 40% of a true damage dealer. So if you can contribute 40% of that, so it's about 20%, 15% of damage to the battle, well, that's 20 to 25% of the battle, right? So it's a really high number that a healer can actually contribute to a fight. And in the high end, fights are technically balanced around a healer helping with damage. I personally find healers to be the most difficult class to play in this game. Therefore, I am not a good healer. I think they're the most difficult class to play because you have to heal and do damage. And I tend to look off screen. I tend to look at the screen of my fellow friends who are here with me and sharing their screens and such. So I tend to not look at the screen many times. So my people would most likely die. I'm pretty much a lazy player, if you want to look at it that way. So me healing, bad idea. But I have mucho respeto for people who do like to heal. And I much prefer the 2 brain cell approach of Unga and Bunga and just run forward. But yes, if you are new to this game and you want to pick up tanking, the series is really good to watch because we will be tanking a lot. And I am kinda, I would think, a pretty good tank at this point. You might be able to learn something. And if you have questions about tanking, well, YouTube comments obviously, and the YouTube live chat once we're live, and the Twitch live chat as well. LivePlay HZTV on YouTube, twitch.com/Hanazaki for the regular stuff. Also, you can become a Pokemon down on the stream. Let's get going. I wanna run. Spread! Spread! This pack is a little bit more annoying to deal with because the hunter, the archer is split off from the rest of the team. So that's a little bit more annoying to deal with. So what do you run? You quickly run to this spot right here, get them into the same range, and then you run back to the archer, and then you just circle the archer. And as you can see, I'm receiving way less damage if I'm running in a circle. So in the very beginning, it helps. At level 56, warrior or marauder into warrior, warrior becomes kind of semi-immortal. And at level 70, warrior becomes near immortal. And it is almost impossible to die in the high end if you play your marauder correctly. It is terrifyingly strong. However, since this is obviously a stream, we have to play the cutscene, and we want to have everything. I couldn't read that. Oh, he's dead. Oh, well, hi. You might have a flashbang for me. Let's get going. Now, if this was a very difficult dungeon, we have 4 platforms that we need to block off. There are bubbles coming off of these, and if you stand on top of them, you would prevent a monster from spawning here. However, not necessary. It's Sastasha. It's supposed to be easy. It is the easiest dungeon in the game. You can even stun bosses, so don't worry about it much in the game. However, I would implore you to actually play the tactics and dodge the enemies and do your cooldowns and such, because you learn along the way, basically.
My goodness.
Man, Rothgulls are very pretty, I have to say. I'll never change off my aura. Let's be very clear here. Let's be very clear here. I will never change off my aura. But I do like Rothgull a lot. Alrighty, 2 commendations. Ooh, I did a good job. So let's quickly get our foreskin tabard. Let's grab the other few things. That's an earring. We don't need earrings. Let's grab the helmet. Boy, we're pretty. So let's go back to the Drowning Avenger. Let's go back to the Drowning Avenger. We still have a few minutes in the episode left, so let's do more stuff. Let's do more stuff. That is the wrong way up, but there's right. So we're not playing a speed run here. We're playing a story playthrough. Sometimes I just walk wrong.
Sorry, what was that? Sometimes you just walk wrong?
Yes,
and we're supposed to forgive you?
Sorry. I'm not walking wrong. I'm walking inefficient.
So basically you're choosing the wrong 50.
No, that's you.
No, that was you as well. I saw it. We have it on camera.
Well, technically on stream. Aye, such a task was on the books. Was mind. I'm afraid this ship has already sailed, my friend. I'm receiving the finger. And the middle one out of these, right? So, I got very kind friends. Ah, might you be the adventurer who has accepted the job of investigating Sostasha? It would seem that this ship has not only sailed, but now returns to the harbor. None the worse for its voyage. A pity. We dragged our boots too long on this one. No matter. The wheel will turn and our chance will come. You are right, of course. But there shall be no rest until we have attained our goal. Lofty though it might be. Not a wink of sleep, great leader! With that hair, I'm not so sure. Our aim, lest you wonder, is to perform such feats of heroism, as well as earn us a place in the songs of every alehouse in Eorzea. We mean to write a legend which will inspire adventurers as yet unborn to follow our shining example. You don't become a hero by will. The world chooses you to be a hero, so that's not how it works, my friend. Do you have such a goal? Large or small, it matters not. I only have a star to reach for, and you will reach higher. Purpose can sustain you through times of hardship. Keep your eye on the prize, and all obstacles will be overcome in time. I'm not so sure. We've been streaming for 16 years, and it's not going well. I don't think that is good advice, my friend. You know what we call having success? Luck. That's what we call that. And you would not think to stride into battle unclad, would you? Well, goals are as arms and armor are for the spirit. I wish you fortune in your endeavors, milady. At least he's polite, unlike you on the other side of the stream, giving me the finger because I was trying to be nice. Back then,
nice? That was far from being nice.
I am so nice that I will eat Berliners in front of you after the stream is over.
That is actually a nice thing because you know that I can't eat them, so you eat them for me. That is actually a nice gesture.
Why is that a nice gesture?
Because I want to take what you said and take it to my advantage.
Huh? How is me eating Berliners you taking advantage?
No, because you want to do it to make me suffer, but you're not actually making me suffer because you're doing it for me.
Yeah.
Because I can't eat them.
What if I say you just don't get them in 2 weeks?
You wouldn't do that. Because deep down, you're a nice guy. You wouldn't do that to me. Guys, please comment below and ask whether I got Berliners or not next Friday. 2 weeks from today.
Are you? With your limbs and tail to tail, I wager. Fishbacks. And there was I thinking you'd only have to crack a pirate skull or 3. Seven else, ye turned back your 5 bloody minutes, and the scaly bastards have set up shop in ye bleeding doorstep. Still, sounds like you left them in pieces, so I don't suppose they will be carrying out whatever mischief they was planning. Unless they was planning on feeding themselves to the fauna of Sostasha, of course. Anyway, all's well that ends well. Thanks for shedding some light on this mystery. I knew you'd be getting the job done, lass, as you always do. Now, I'll be bet you're dying for a rest. But just in case you're not, I was wondering if you might be interested in taking on another job. It just so happens that I have had a request from our sister guild in Gridania, you see. It seems the forest folk in need of an adventurer, what can get things done. For them to ask for your help like this, you can bet the task won't be no skip through a sunny glade. But after the way you dealt with our fishback infestation, I doubt it's anything you can't handle. Give us a shout when you're ready, and I'll lay it out for you. Alrighty, so... You're making an interesting face. What's happening?
I didn't say anything.
You don't have to say anything. Your mimics are sometimes very much enough.
I'm just thinking of Berninas.
But not the cream-filled kind. It needs to be jam.
God, no.
Needs
It's
to be
gotta
jam.
No. Let me precise. Because here in Italy, they exist and they have apricot jam in them. Yes.
No.
Please.
No.
Only put red jam in your donuts.
Yeah, some like
Please.
Strawberry or like raspberry
Either strawberry or raspberry.
or some sort of red berry mix.
Yes.
Apricots is terrible. Yellow doesn't work in a Berliner. No. Yellows doesn't work. Call of the Forest. No. Ready to hear about the job then? Like I said, the request comes from our sister guild in Gridania. And that's all I know. But whatever ye get asked to do, I somehow doubt it pose any trouble for your adventurer as survived as the Bedlam says Tasha. If you think you might be interested, you want to have a word with Mother Mignon, my counterpart in Gridania. Good luck, lass. Mignon is great. I'm a big fan of Mignon. She is really, really cool. Big fan of Mignon. If you start in Gridania, which I have had done as my Lancer back then, Mignon is like very welcoming and like very hearty and is very, very good person. I'm a big fan of Mignon. And here's a shirtless guy. I'm not turning around. So don't look at me like that. Mother Mignon. Take a seat wherever you like, friend. Our waitress will come take your... Oh, not here to dine. I dare hope that you are the adventurer Battaron sent the word about. You are? The matron be praised. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mignon, and the Carline Canopy is my place. With regard to the task in question, there's a fair bit to tell. Let me know when you are ready to hear the details, and I shall brief you. Ready for that briefing? Good! Now then, here's the long and short of it. Beg pardons for interrupting, Mignon, but our need grows ever more pressing. Have none stepped forward. Any good evening to you too, Bowlord. Bowlord? Bowlord. Your need must be pressing indeed for you to honor us with a visit. The good news is, your journey hasn't been wasted. I'm pleased to report that we have a volunteer at last, and one who comes highly recommended at that. My thanks for answering the call, friend. My name is Lewin, and I lead the men and women of the God's Quiver. Now, time is of the essence, so I shall proceed directly to the heart of the matter. We wish you for a nip of potential threat to Gridania into the bud. Beneath the central shroud, there lies an underground burial site called the Tamtara Deepcroft. The place was once the Gelmoran settlement, but we Gridanians have long interred our dead there. Of late, however, shadowy figures have been seen skulking around the Deepcroft, and with ever-increasing regularity. Based on the accounts of various witnesses, we suspect that these individuals belong to the Lambs of Balamut, a doomsday cult which sprung up prior to the calamity. These zealots have proven themselves dangerous in the past, and we leave them to their own devices at our peril. Ordinarily, I would have dispatched my best men to scour the Deepcroft with orders to flush the cultists out. Alas, the calamity decimated our ranks, and the limited forces at my disposal are constantly required to keep the Ixal at bay. The birdmen have grown restless of late, and I fear a storm may be brewing. Choice of words, I guess. In anticipation of this, I have been compelled to spread our forces throughout the Twelveswood, lest we be taken unawares. The situation so being, we must turn to others to deal with the lambs of Dalamut, and we rely on you to undertake this task, friend. You have my gratitude. Once you have seen to your preparations, pray make your way to the Deepcroft and identify yourself to the guard posted at the entrance. He will apprise you of the latest developments. That is all. Be careful out there, you hear? May the crystal guide you and keep you. Alrighty. So, to Deepcroft we go. Next dungeon. Yay. But I think before we enjoy that dungeon, we switch on over to episode 9 of today's stream. As usual, guys, if you do not want to wait for episodes, you gotta join the stream because you can see 3 episodes per stream evening. Well, that's at least the plan, right? So if you want to come in here and hang out and have a chat with us and enjoy the story, twitch.tv/Hanazaki, LivePlay HZTV works as well for YouTube. We are both online on both platforms. I see both chats in front of me, and I hope to react to you. Sometimes
I also have both chats in front of us, just in case he doesn't see you. I will reply.
Yes. That is about correct. Also, I know she would kill me if I would not mention it. She might kill me anyways. But we have socials. It's Hanazaki TV on TikTok, Insta, and all of the other socials that you can imagine. And we post funny clips there, mostly Helldivers stuff, and all of the other funny, stupid things that happen. You can find those on the socials. And the other person on the end of this internet connection is the one who manages this. So if you want to insult me without me knowing, she would probably agree with you.
Oh yeah, but I would tell you. And laugh at you.
Sure. Might as well, I guess.
Yep.
Down to...
Please do!
Please do! And it's not like that we're trying to tell you to interact with our socials and our videos, but because that kind of manipulates the algorithm and pushes it higher. We have mentioned that many times before. We're trying to manipulate you, like in the subconscious of your mind, to interact with the content we produce so that YouTube thinks this lad is pretty stupid. So let's push him. Also, in 2 weeks, we have Path of Exile 2, and that's going to be a lot of fun, so join us. It's going to be very, very cool. Very excited about the changes, actually, in Path of Exile 2. I really, really hope they make the endgame better by removing +2 levels, because that is an awful hearing this. So, we are in Atara, your Shion Zanzai take. Thanks for helping us out, friend. No doubt the Bow Lord has already informed you, but your task to enter the Deepcroft and purge the lambs of Dalamut. In case you're unfamiliar with them, the cult emerged shortly before the calamity put an end to the 6th astral era. The cultists took over a lesser moon, Dalamut, and for their god, believing that it would deliver them from devastation. And so they were rather disappointed when Dalamut exploded into 1,000 flaming pieces before it could complete its descent. Now I have seen their god turn to ash. One would think that the cultists might feel moved to question their faith. On the contrary, it served only to stoke flames about their fanaticism. The lambs of Dalamut are convinced that heretics, that is to say everyone but them, interfered with the coming of their Lord and Savior, and that's now their sacred duty to avenge him. Whatever it is they're doing in Deepcroft, you might as well be sure no good will come of it. For the sake of Gridania and the Eorzea at large, put an end to their madness. Samtara Deepcroft is now accessible. Guys, we will manage that next episode because we kind of need to uphold the 1 hour structure of YouTube. You know where to find us. We've mentioned it before. Fox, you look like you want to say something.
No, I was laughing. You were busy, so you didn't. Unfortunately, we can't share my screen on
Because of spoilers,
for spoiler
yes.
reasons.
Mhm.
But I decided to do another fate with a boss. It was the dragon boss. Sepas or something like that.
Hmm?
There was a dragon. Okay. But my camera angle was like me fighting with the dragon above me, and my chocobo was doing a great job of healing me. Thank goodness my chocobo was there. And because it was a strange camera angle, my minion came into the camera angle and was looking at the camera while I was fighting.
So you get a
And then
close up.
Yes, I got a close up of the minion, and he sneezed, and it was just so stupid.
You want to show which minion you have? You want to show which minion you have?
I have my Hanasaki minion.
Because I sneeze a lot, and the gobbo obviously goes achoo a lot. So, yeah.
Oh, where's he going?
And he
Come back
also
here and
runs
see.
like me, kinda. So,
Yep.
thank you very much for watching. This was episode 8 on stream. We're hopping over to episode 9. Take care, guys. You know where to find us. Have a good one.
It was just so funny because the camera angle was like this or something, and he just sort of wandered into the camera angle. He's like, "Hey, I'm just here."
I'll be right back.
Uh-huh. Okay. What do I need to do? Enter the zone. Oh no, it's a dungeon. Oh no, I have to go into a dungeon. Oh no. Oh no. No, no.
Alrighty. Right. Yep. Okay. So, episode 9.
Moin. I have a dungeon to do.
Deep into the croft. Which one? Stone Vigil. Oh, have fun. Pretty cool. I like Stone Vigil.
When you say have fun like that, you normally know I'm going to suffer terribly.
Oh, I actually really like.
Okay.
Alrighty. Very low on sound. Actually, there's not much sound. Let's do it like this. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, episode 9 of Final Fantasy XIV Hanantasy 14. I should redo that intro. That was a terrible intro.
Yes, that was terrible. We should leave it.
That was
So you
terrible.
suffer every time.
No, let's redo it. Because the clap also wasn't that good. I have trouble clapping today. Terrible claps on the second take. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 9 of Final Hanantasy 14. deep into the croft we go. You guys know what the deal is, so let's get in. I'm obviously not alone, and the fox looks like she has something to say.
No, I was just wondering whether it's better to say Hanantasy or Hantasy.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Is Hanantasy better? Is Hanantasy red? No, Hanantasy sounds bad.
I mean, theoretically, you should say Hantasy.
Hantasy, Final Hantasy. But I'm not
I call you Hannah,
well, technically
so
I'm
I
currently
would call you-
solo, so I would be Han Solo.
Two weeks and then I'll kill him. Guys, you've got 2 weeks left to watch him stream because he's gonna die.
Not scared. I just have to hold down my hand and like catch the head here, and I'm totally safe. So I'm not scared.
You hold out one hand like that, and the other hand holds a Berliner.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold like one hand here and like a Berliner, and like I'm gonna do this, and she can't like get it. So, or I'll just put the Berliners high on the cupboard, and I hide all of the stools.
I will climb onto the cupboard.
I'll film it in case you fall. Let's go to Tamtara. Oh, that is the wrong dungeon I went into. That's bad. So I made a little boo-boo, but Sastasha is fast. So that happens, I guess. Oh, I unfortunately queued up for the wrong dungeon. Oh well, let's run Sastasha once more, I guess. Let's run Sastasha once more. It's not like Sastasha takes a while to do. So let's just get the second pack here as well. Now we have one extra cooldown at our hand, Reprise, which is quite nice. Reprise is what we call a shared class cooldown. So every tank can use Reprisal, for example. And one tip I can definitely give in Final Fantasy is do not save your cooldowns. Your cooldowns are there to be used. In fact, in dungeons, it is far better to use your cooldowns. Be it healer, DPS or tank, use your cooldowns on trash fights. Because trash fights take the longest and are the most dangerous. If a dangerous fight, i.e. the trash fight, can be done quicker, obviously there is less danger. So do your cooldowns on trash fights instead of boss fights. Obviously do them in boss fights when they're ready, right? But do not hold your cooldowns outside of like 10 seconds or something like that, or 5 seconds. Do not hold your cooldowns and press them while doing the trash mobs, because the trash mobs are more important to clear. Unfortunately, I do not have my charge yet. So I am going to, because I'm relatively low on life, gonna get both cooldowns ready. Stacking cooldowns is something that is recommended to a certain point, because you rather stack 2 cooldowns to be about, let's say, 30 or 40% defense, instead of stacking all cooldowns and be at 80% defense, because then you have another set of cooldowns for the next monster pack. I recommend using 2 cooldowns per trash mob pull, basically. So a really good combination is, for example, Rampart and Reprisal is a really good one, and another one that is really good is let me quickly click on the door. Another cooldown that is really good to use is Vengeance and Arm's Length. While Arm's Length as a tank will prevent you from being knocked back, it also gives a regular monster a delay debuff, so they attack slower. So Arm's Length actually makes the enemy's attack slower, by 20%. So they lose basically 1 in 5 attacks, which is a lot, 20%. So use Arm's Length and Vengeance, or the equivalent of your class, and use Rampart and Reprisal as the other combo, and you alternate between them basically. This is a, well, this is a caster wrist, so I can't use it. And you basically alternate between them. Now, you also use these cooldowns in boss fights, obvious, as a tank. However, your big defense cooldowns, like your Rampart and your Vengeance as a warrior, for example, you save for those skills we call a tank buster. In the earlier stages of the game, it is not always clear what a tank buster is. If it's clear what a tank buster is, if there is a visual indicator, you will see a red circle circling around yourself as a tank, or if you're a healer, for example, a red circle will appear above the tank, or around the tank rather, and that means a tank buster is incoming, which means a lot of damage is incoming. So you need to be aware of that. While not all tank busters are a AoE effect, some tank busters do have an AoE effect on them, and you need to be aware not to stand on the tank or near the tank, so that you are not caught in the attack of said tank buster. Fox, what are the 2 rules of tanking?
Back to the wall, away from the group.
That is correct. If you do back to the wall and away from the group, you are solving roughly 80-90% of your problems. So away from the group, like so, this would be away from the group and against a wall in case there is a knockback. So these 2 rules, away from the group and back to the wall, are the fundamentals of tanking. If you obey these 2 fundamentals, you're pretty good to go for most fights, really. This also means if you are not a tank, you do not go towards the tank and not where the boss is facing. You go away from the face and back to the wall if there is a wall. We have leggies. Ooh, tank leggies. As a DPS or a healer, if possible, do not stand with the tank, stand away from him. But, and that's a big but we're talking about here, if possible, do not try to stand on the butt of an enemy that has a tail. Because tail swipes are a big thing in this game, and if you are behind an enemy that has a tail, it might use that tail to have a conal tail swipe behind him, or a half wide room tail swipe. So my recommendation, if you are a damage dealer or a healer that is not a melee fighter, very important because melees have positionals, they have to be behind the enemy or to the side / flank of the enemy. They have to be there. But if you are a ranged DPS or a healer, for example, I would recommend you stay to the side of your enemy, because side attacks are very rare in this game. So the best position to be is towards the side of the enemy. How do I know what the side of the enemy is? Let me quickly grab my cooldowns. If you look at the hitbox of the enemy, there is an arrow pointing towards me. There is a conal opening behind the enemy, and there is an arrow left and right of the enemy. That's the flank. So stand near the small arrow to the left and right of the enemy. That's the flank, and that is usually the safest possible position you can be as a ranged or a healer. Behind is fine, but if it has a tail, just be wary, there might be a tail swipe. So you try to position yourself to the side or flank of said enemy.
Oh, shit.
What happened? And you died.
I got typhooned. Yeah.
You got typhooned.
Yes.
Whirlwinded. Another
Yeah,
tip.
I tried to move out the way and I walked into another one.
That happens, I guess. You interrupted my train of thought. I actually lost it. I wanted to say another tip I want to give you, but I lost the train of thought. What's another tip I wanted to give? I actually don't know. Lost it. Oh well. It might come back. It might come back. So now we queue for the correct dungeon. Now we queue for Tamtara. Happens, I guess. Oh yeah, right. A big giant tip I can give you in Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy is a lot of show, don't tell. The game is not telling you what's going to happen. You have to look at a boss what's going to happen. In many cases, there is no cast bar of an enemy, but he will hold up the right hand, for example, do an attack on the right. If he holds up the left hand, that means he's going to strike the left. If he looks behind him, he's mostly striking behind him. If he holds the claw forward, for example, he's attacking in the front of him. Final Fantasy is a hugely visual game, and it's not going to tell you what's going to happen, it's going to show you what's going to happen. This gets more important in the later stages of the game, but it's a show, don't tell game. So be aware and look at the boss, what the boss is doing.
Panic like me.
Like you what?
Or panic like me.
Oh, panic! Yeah, well, that's an option. That means you will die, but... You know?
Oh.
You have met
I
Nickelback.
found redacted.
That is a good sensor. Redacted is happening. If you would have seen Redacted, my god, Redacted. The Redacted moment is incredible.
This is a really exciting part. If you want to know what's going on, follow the series.
Well, I'm gonna get there eventually.
Oh. Okay. Oh, I like this dungeon. Right.
Audio Stone Vigil is pretty cool.
So you guys get the easy part, and I have to do the hard part.
Yes.
That's
yes.
not fair.
Your character, which there is a description that character will get. I don't think you have it already, but your character is basically you do all the hard work and we just show up for the cutscenes. That's basically what's happening.
You just look after the dog, or while we go for a joyride sort of thing. Oh, hi.
Kinda.
Okay. Now, will the guys be waiting for me? Probably.
No, I sprinted too early. No, I lost 5 seconds. I don't have a charge. I just pressed charge. Didn't have one.
Oh, hi. Yeah. Can I pet it?
Unlikely. But you will kill it.
It's cute.
So.
Oh.
Is that really a boss fight cutscene? Is that really the boss fight cutscene? It's a huge one. A huge boss fight cutscene. What the hell?
Yeah. Hope they're waiting for me.
They are, hopefully. That's a huge cutscene though. Holy shit. That was like a solid 3 minutes. Yup, they have waited.
Are we all here? Yep. do like Summoner though. Summoner is like,
Very
okay,
easy.
you're being threatening and angry, and you're gonna beat me up to a pulp. I've got a book, and I'm gonna throw it at you.
There is a few cutscenes where your character actually like physically attacks, like with her body, with her fists and stuff. And it always feels odd to me that a white mage, for example, would use her fist to strike an enemy. It's a cutscene we shall not speak of.
No, but thank you for mentioning the tail thing a minute ago.
Yes.
Like, stay away from the tail, and I was like, yes, I should move from here.
Well, I kinda died.
Oh no.
My healer told me to stay still. So...
Oh. And you died?
I died. My healer told me to stay still.
Should I use my limit break?
You always, but you use it if you have a melee character, the melee gets priority. But if you have time to use it, use it.
Ooh. Where is he? Will you stop flying around?
Where's our healer? Our healer is talking a lot. Why is our healer not coming? Is he one of those who is like now very, very much angered at this? Is he angered now?
Oh shit. I died. I don't know how...
Is our healer angry now? You're not continuing to play? Really? Guys, don't do that.
After you saying how good people are in dungeons with beginners and everything, he's
perfect,
being
yeah.
silly? Why?
Yeah, it's perfect. He's not coming
But why?
to the end of the dungeon.
But...
I have been removed from the party. They vote kicked me.
What? What?
They have vote kicked me.
Why?
They have actually vote kicked me. I am actually kind of glad this is on stream. This actually happened right now. I vote kicked. I told him to just sprint. I said sprint and smiley. That's all I said. Guys, you can see it on the chat, right? So, running in circles is pointless, and it is less damage, as I've explained. And I just said trust me with a smiley, and I said sprint with a smiley, and I got kicked. That actually has happened.
And that was like after 10 minutes of going on about how wonderful people are in Final Fantasy and how they're so much cooler than World of Warcraft.
Yes, and there we have those who are the elite, is what I call them. And because we wiped once in Tamtara, he refused to play and he removed the tank from the dungeon. Let's not witch hunt people, okay? Let's not witch hunt people, but kicking someone for a wipe in Tamtara is a little tough.
But also, the way Final Fantasy does dungeons is great. This is the first time you did that dungeon.
Yes.
Right? With this character.
Yes.
And it lets them know that this is the first time you're doing it with this character.
Yes.
So they should be more lenient. I mean, if it had been someone like me, who's a completely newcomer, like now, I flashbanged. I died twice. Did they complain? Did they say anything? No, they revived me and we continued.
Also,
So that's like discouraging for new players doing something like that.
yeah, this is very correct. Also, if you wipe in Final Fantasy, you don't have to actually walk the dungeon. You can teleport to where you exactly left off in the dungeon. So there is actually no time loss at all in walking or anything like that. You don't have to corpse run. You don't have to walk into the dungeon again. You can just press the teleporter and you can go again. So it is very, very interesting that this happened. Now, what does a wise man say, Fox?
So let's do it again.
Let's do it again. We have a sage again. So, let's just do exactly the same and see what happens, guys. Let's do exactly the same. So, let's see. Let's do exactly the same, shall we? Let's grab these guys. Grab these. And our sage is sprinting, as we can see. So, if you sprint, and it is recommended to sprint in this game, you can have, if you sprint outside of combat, you get 20 seconds of sprint. You sprint inside of the combat, you get 10 seconds, half the time of sprinting. So, just take the time and sprint, and then you can easily run in a circle. Let's just look at the damage I'm receiving, guys, and I'm standing still now, okay? I'm standing still now. Now look at the numbers reaching me. This is much higher than if I now run and run in a circle. Running in a circle is far, far less damage on my body. So therefore, I am right. Because there is this microsecond where an enemy is not attacking you. And that means you're not receiving damage. And I clicked outside of the game, back in the game. And there we have the first one. Now, this is the fated moment. No, not the fated moment. It is coming up, though. But my healer is sprinting, so he immediately sprinted, just like myself. So therefore, I know this healer is pretty used to speeding up in dungeons. And speeding up in dungeons is what you do in Final Fantasy, really. So, we do not have many defensive cooldowns right now. So let's take care of our circle. And if you look at my HP, guys, down at the very bottom, it is draining rather slowly. The real danger in this game, as with any other MMO really, is casters. Casters are the things that absolutely go ham in this game. Melees are never the problem, really. The problem are casters. These are the dangerous ones. Now, the fated moment arrives after this section right here. We know that the sage is sprinting all the way. Watch this icon right here, if there is a sprint icon. And there it is. He has the sprint. We're gonna do exactly the same. I have not changed my tactics whatsoever, okay? So let's see. We're going to pull towards the exact same area. We're going to pull towards the exact same area. The casters are hitting me quite hard. But my sage is right behind me. And there's the first heal of the sage, so he's already here. And now we defensive cooldown. And now we do the circle. And now we do the circle. Now, turns out, this tactic does work. So please do not witch hunt whoever played like a little joke on me and kicked me from the dungeon. Please don't do that. Please don't kick people for the first wipe of the game. If you wipe 500 times, sure. But don't kick people. Leave the dungeon if you're unhappy. Don't kick people. And as we can see, worked perfectly fine. Not trying to defend my point, but I kind of made my point. So, yeah. People are usually really nice in this game. Really, really nice. It just so happens that we got one of those who I call the elite of Final Fantasy XIV. Sad. Let's hope it doesn't happen again.
I just think the sucky thing is, it's like, yeah, you've got broad shoulders, you don't care about this. If it had happened to me, that would have been very...
Yes.
Very upsetting, almost.
That is why, if you are unhappy with the group, you leave the group instead of kicking someone. I think leaving the group is better than kicking someone you don't like.
Yeah, they must have been like a group of friends or something.
Maybe.
I mean, my worst experiences in World of Warcraft was pretty worse, but it's on the same lines, so...
Yes, but please, let's not witch hunt anyone here, right? It happened, and I'm not mad about it. It's just... I know better. I've played this a lot. Guys. Yeah, I've played this a lot, I know quite well.
Galvanth, the Dominator, who summons me from the void.
And he talks like this because he's got tentacles.
My name is Zoidberg. Why not Zoidberg? But hey, at least we showed the other side of the coin. So that's kind of cool, actually. It happens. But the best thing is to just move on, guys. Don't be mad about it. There are many players who are not mean like them. So just move on. Okay, everything's did. And we're done. Level up. Turns out the tactic is indeed possible. Duty complete. She did the Helldivers thing. She did the Helldivers thing.
She did. She's a true Helldiver.
She's a true Helldiver. Because in the fall of Malevolent Creek, we are there to protect. Oh, I wanted to give... Well, I got one. So...
There you go. Well, because you're the only one left.
Cool. So, back to Gritze we go. Back to Gritze we go. Guys, if you like the series, tell me I'm wrong, tell me I'm right. I don't know. Just tell me whatever. Down in the comment section down below. Share the moment with your friends. Share the opinion. Maybe I did something wrong. Tell me. I'm happy to learn.
You did something wrong.
What did I wrong?
Actually, you haven't yet. You haven't yet because you haven't eaten the Berliner yet.
That will happen in about 15 minutes. Welcome back, Shion. I am reliably informed that your foray into the Deepcroft was a success. Nor did I expect any less. Butteron's ringing endorsement left me a little doubt as to your capabilities. Even so, you are to be commended. Bowlord Lewin asked me to pass on his thanks. I must say, it's something of a relief to be able to call upon such capable adventurers. Sadly, death has become an ever more common occurrence within our fraternity of light. Times being what they are, the guild is constantly inundated with petitions, and we are hard-pressed to find enough hands to deal with them all. While this means no shortage of work for able souls such as yourself, it also provides an ample opportunity for the inexperienced to overreach themselves, with predictable consequences. Ah, as if to illustrate the point. Shion's gone, and it is all your fault. If it hadn't taken you an age to heal him, he would still be alive. But I tried. He bolted out of range before I could finish the spell. He shouldn't have been so hard pressed in the first place. We should have done more to lighten his burden. What timing, eh? Bah! To hells with this pathetic excuse of a party. I'm leaving, and it'd be too soon if I never see your faces again. Goodbye and good riddance.
Written on purpose.
I'm leaving as well. I doubt I come back as any surprise, but I never liked you. I only suffered you for your healing, but you couldn't even do that one thing right. Cruel to this may sound, you brought this upon yourself. Oh, and by the way, some parting advice. Get rid of Shion's head. Bury it, cremate it, and do whatever the else you like with it. But for God's sake, stop carrying it around. It's just get rid of it, alright? By the way, not a spoiler, but Edda is actually, we will see Edda quite a few times again, and Edda is in a leveling area we call a deep dungeon, which is basically a specialized dungeon with a specialized system, and you will see Edda there as well. She kind of plays a role in there. Oh, wait, don't leave me, please! I'm so sorry, Shion! Please forgive me! No, the other person wouldn't have said that. Scenes like these have been all too common. That makes a dozen times half as many days. But now you see why I'm grateful for adventurers of your experience, and I can send them women like you on a mission without worrying that you might not return. Well, not so much at any rate. Speaking of missions, I would entrust you with another. About a bell ago, I received the message from my counterpart in Ul'dah. She seeks the services of a reliable adventurer, and you are nothing if not reliable. If you think you might be interested in this task, say the word and I'll be glad to share the details with you. And we have reached which level in the main story quest? Let's see. 16. So once we reach level 18 in the main story, we are stopping with this character, we are doing the warrior quest, and then we're moving on. So you're not averse in taking a little trip. Wonderful. As mentioned earlier, the request comes to us from the Adventurers Guild in Ul'dah. Once you arrive, seek out Momori, the proprietress of the Quicksand. Think of her as the Sultanate's version of myself. Chances are she will send you into the midst of danger, but I have every confidence that you will pull through unscathed. Now off you go, Shion, and good luck. There we go, off to the Quicksand. Off to the Quickie Sando. Off to the Quickie Sando. Quickie Sando. So, what are you contemplating for? You're doing this.
I'm just wondering. I need to.
Like
I'm
the
level
hand,
50.
the hand underneath the lip, and then.
No. You got that wrong. The hand is actually resting on the teeth like that.
Okay, often teeth like that. Okay. Okay, so
Yes.
you're doing it like this, okay? Because she was looking at the
Should I do
screen
that?
like that.
Should I do that instead?
I don't know. So let's go to the quest. There's the eye candy,
No,
so I
because
have to mention it. Down there.
I have to.
So what are you contemplating?
I'm level 50.
Uh-huh.
I'm level 50.
Okay.
And you said I could recolor my carbuncle at level 50.
But yes, you need to do the summoner quest until level 50, I think. I think level 50 summoner ending is what it unlocks, basically.
Okay.
It's
So
tied
to
to the
walkie.
it's tied to the quest, basically. Remember, features are
man.
always tied behind some sort of quest.
But I gotta walk for miles.
And you want to walk 500 miles? Welcome
And
to the
you
quicksand,
don't want to
friend.
get copyrighted.
Yes, please don't copyright us, thanks. Welcome to the quicksand, friend. I'm a tad busy right now. If you wouldn't mind showing yourself too, judging by your determined expression, I take you ain't here for ale. You're called Shion Sansa by any chance? Mewns, and a word that you would be reporting for duty. She also made a point of calling you the adventurer of the moment. That ain't no small praise coming from her. But you didn't come all the way here just to listen to my prattle. Doubtless you are eager to get started, so let's talk business, shall we? And we have reached level 17 on the main story quest. So we're getting closer. The petitioner ought to be arriving at any moment now. God's almighty! Another second under that sun and I would have been set afire. Danger no veil, if you would be so kind. Excellent timing, Papa Sean. So it just so happens the adventurer who will be handling your petition is here. That is a height difference and a 2. So this winsome lassie is the much lauded adventurer, is she? Marvelous, marvelous. A pleasure to make your acquaintance, milady. I'm Papa Sean, formerly the Sultan Swan and now a bakery of pizzas. Oh. I thank you for agreeing to lend us to your aid. Mayhap you would like to apprise Shion of her mission. Yes, of course. The petition in question was submitted by an acquaintance of mine at Amagina and Sons Mineral Concern. It relates to an unfortunate development at the Copperbell mines. To be plain, giants have seized control of the place. These giants are the clan who are known as the Hecatoncheers. Fearsome creatures who were sealed within the deepest depths of the mines during the bygone Thorn dynasty. Alas, it seems they have managed to break through the layer of rock which served to imprison them, and now prowl the tunnels where the miners ply their trade. The creatures are justifiably angry about their treatment at all the hands of our ancestors. Their presence has forced a suspension of all mining activities on the site. No wonder they're angry. Didn't the Thorn dynasty come to an end over 300 years ago? You know your history well, milady. The people of that age used the Hecatoncheers to work their mines. By way of enchanted helmets, they were able to bind the ferocious creatures to their will. Slavery. But as it oft is the way in such tales, these enchantments eventually failed, and the slaves rose up against their masters. In a desperate bid to contain the unbridled fury of the Hecatoncheers, our ancestors induced the collapse of the mine's lowermost levels, that it was a great giant revolt was ended, buried beneath 100,000 tons of rock. Well now, that's got me thinking. I seem to recall there being an article about the Copperbelt mines in the Mithril Eye a fortnight or so ago. It said that the mines were being reopened as to meet the rising demand for building materials. Like as not, our boys dug a bit too deep and freed the giants. Gods, to think that the poor creatures are still alive and kicking after 3 centuries. That's a long time to nurse a grudge. They must be seething. Indeed. And that makes them a danger to us all. There will be no mining at Copperbell so long as they remain. For the sake of both peace and prosperity, they must be subdued. This is the task we would have you undertake. So basically, we're going to kill slaves. Great. I'll not deny the mission will be rife with danger, but our need is great, so I beg you, put an end to this sorry business. God bless you. And I feared you might have reservations, but I assure you it's for the best. Okay. In case you don't know, Copperbell mines are in western Thanalan. Do take care, you hear? Oh, and one last thing before you depart. An employee of Amagina and Sons is presently at Quicksand. A fellow named Painted Mesa, and he knows the Copperbell mines well. It may behoove to you to seek his counsel. Looking for Painted Mesa, you found him! So you're the adventurer who volunteered to deal with the mess down in the Copperbell area. You got guts, miss. I just hope you've got skills to go with them. Cause things ain't pretty down there. The Hecatoncheers have left the place in the right state, and a nary week of mining resumed. I don't know if you know this, but Copperbell was old when the second Ul dynasty was still young, and it was abandoned centuries ago. If it hadn't been for the shortage of materials needed of rebuilding the effort, the concern would have never thought to reopen it. We knew full well about the giants beforehand, but the project went ahead anyway. I mean, nothing could possibly survive being buried under a mountain worth of rock 3 centuries, right? Wrong! Our miners dug up more than they bargained for. One swing of the pickaxe too many, and they found themselves in the company of giants. Unless we subdue them, the nation's glorious recovery will grind to a halt, for want of aught to build with. The stone torches keeping watch over the entrance in case the giants fancy some sunlight and fresh air. One of them will be able to show you the way in. Hope of the nation's resting on you, friend. Best of luck. Alrighty. And down to Copperbell we go. But we will not do Copperbell in this episode. We will do Copperbell in the next episode. Which may be tomorrow, may not be tomorrow. Depends if I'm getting assaulted by a kick to my group face. And then we may stream something else tomorrow. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's go to Western Talalan. You called it Talalan before, right? Mapping the realm.
Oh my god. I kind of get the idea that I shouldn't be here.
We're already level 25. And you are in Mordona now.
Yep.
You are now in Mordona.
Yes. I need to find the darn...
The darn what?
The darn...
The darn?
Dead end.
Can you
Hi, I found you.
Say something after darn, probably what it would be that you're searching for?
The summoner quest.
Ah, so if you were open the map, I could maybe help you.
I'm just trying to avoid the bad guys right now.
Okay. Maybe the summoner quest. You had look. We call the fox the 50-50. You had the chances of going left or right. 50-50. You went the wrong 50.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I'm following the path. There's only one path.
No, there's 2 paths. There's 2 paths. You went left on Mordona. And there's a path to the right in Mordona. There is. There is a path.
Haven't unlocked
Then
I haven't unlocked that area yet.
Yes, then it is locked behind your main story quest. What level is your main story quest at currently?
I don't know.
You look it up.
41. Yeah.
41. So that area is 45 and up. So your quest being 45, the area is 45 and up. You have to do more main quest.
Well, I'm here now.
So go back into Mordona. I actually don't remember that gate being closed ever, because it's kind of been 14 years of me doing that. But yes,
least I've unlocked the other lets.
Is it truly unlocked? Can you... No, you have not yet.
Yeah.
You have not attuned yourself. But can you show me? I actually want to see
No.
if it's closed.
No, I mean, right at this moment now, at least I've unlocked it.
Okay. Can you go to that door? I kindly want to see it.
Which? This one?
No, not this one. The left path. Out to the left. No, not that left. Look to the right. Turn around and walk that path. Because I don't remember there being a door that is closed.
I haven't been that way, so...
Yes, you took the wrong 50. See? The door's open.
No, I don't mean up here.
Yes, but there is your summoner quest. It tells you to go there.
But how do I get here from here?
You're not supposed to go down there. There is
Then
a camp.
how is that?
Show me where the summoner quest takes you. Okay.
No, what I mean is how would I have got... let me enlarge in this a second. Because I want to understand.
Sure.
Now. I came up here from Northern Thanalan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I went up here.
Yes.
To go down to here.
Okay. That is correct.
And you... Yeah,
Usually,
why did you say I took the wrong 50%?
Because I was in the assumption that you came from the north. Because usually the main quest comes from the north.
No, I came up from Thanalan.
So you took the extremely long way around. So then it is my bad, and I apologize. Because the main quest, usually comes from the top, basically, into Mordona.
Huh.
But guys, what an episode this was, right? Thank you very much for watching. Tell me down in the comment section below. Was I wrong? Were they wrong? And is there anything I can improve? Let us know. Fox, what is the last word of today's stream?
Don't get discouraged by bad people in dungeons.
That is a very good word. Guys, take care, be nice, and tell people you're the first time player. Until next time.
Bye-bye.